Hi, I'm James Rankin of Moody Group at American National Texas. We're here today at the home office. We're excited. We got a great team here, and we're launching the newest product, which is called Living Guaranteed Option UL. I believe this is the latest evolution in the insurance industry. And I've got Paul Harrington with me, and he's going to be assisting me with this presentation. As we go on, we forgot to come up with a code as far as changing. I'm joking. Go ahead. First of all, I like concept. And most agents, unfortunately, have forgotten this. This is the greatest definition I've ever heard of explaining life insurance. And here it is. Life insurance really is the greatest concept invented by the mind of man to overcome financial challenges. Now think about that for just a second. To be an insurance agent really is to have a calling, because it takes a lot of courage to talk about mortality, to talk about family problems, challenges. Life insurance is a solution. Life insurance is the ability to take the uncertainty of the future and replace it with absolute certainty. Because if I make a good living and I die, my family has no money. How do I replace my income? If we didn't have insurance, how would we do that? Let's get the family together. Hey, we have to move in. Hey, can the government help us? No, we don't need that. We're self-reliant. We are Americans, are we not? And we focus on solutions, and solution is the life insurance industry. But once again, we forget about that. We think we're imposing on people. No, we're helping people. We're making a difference in their lives. So I love the insurance industry, and it has evolved. First of all, we had whole life back in the early 1900s, did we not? Which makes a lot of sense. Whole life still makes sense today, regardless of what the media says. Why? People want to have coverage. People typically don't save money. Americans typically, we save less than 5% of our income, which is terrible. So what's the solution? Buy the whole life, protect your family, and have some build-up. We all need an emergency fund, don't we? Our cash value is that emergency fund. Tax-free loans against it. Gives people stability. They also want a level premium, and they want that coverage to be permanent, because a lot of times our life insurance has permanent solutions. You agree with that? I mean, when I'm gone, I want my family to continue having money. I want money to bury me. There's nothing more depressing, Philip, and I want you to test this, is you go into a supermarket and you see a picture of a guy in a jar that says, "Please help us bury Frank."
Okay. Terrible.
It's depressing. Had this guy just taken $10 a month and gave it to American National of Texas, his family would have $100,000. Depends on his age, of course. But come on, there's no excuse why we have to collect money to bury people. It's our responsibility. When we die, we create debt. Take care of business. Take care of your families. Whole life insurance. Now, whole life insurance got beat up, and there was one person who revolutionized the industry. Not going to mention his name, but in a way, competition is good. And so the motto, in fact, I met Mrs. Van Casper when she came to Galveston, Vanita Van Casper, and she wrote the book Money Dynamics back in the 70s and 80s. And I had a chance to meet her. She's an amazing lady. But this individual took her information and revolutionized the industry. And it was buy term, invest the difference. Term insurance, greatest concept. You got the coverage, it is low cost. But there's pitfalls, is there not, with term insurance? Sure there is. At one time, all we had was an ART. And so yes, Paul, you got a very inexpensive policy, but every year it goes up. So by the time you're my age, you just can't afford it. It made up 0.001 of my salary. Now it makes up 20% of my salary. That's not realistic. And so what happens? They lapse. Term insurance is not the answer. It's the answer for short-term liability, absolutely. In fact, in the brochure, we talk about it. This is probably, I think, one of the greatest presentations that we share with agents. And that is, when you're young, your savings is low, your debt is high. But as you get older, what's going to happen, Paul?
To pay off that debt.
Debt goes down, savings goes up. There's going to be a cross point. That's why I love this product, because a cross point could be 20 years, it could be 25 years. But at that time, you don't need the insurance. You've got plenty of savings. Here's your money back. So we are literally giving your money back. This is a money back on your premium. In 20 years, you're either going to get 100% of all your premium or 65% of your death benefit. And we'll talk about that later on, but I just think that's remarkable. But once again, they all play a part in the portfolio. We just closed a very large case, Karen, you and I recently, where the broker lost a opportunity that he was working on. This company came in $1,500 less per year for the same amount of coverage. How do you do that? It's a more competitive product. But what we did is we built a life insurance allocation model. He got it. What was the total premium, Marta?
$2,100.
$2,100 a month. That's a nice payday for him. And it was for $5 million. So, and what we did is we just simply used our portfolio of products and designed an allocation. The client loved it. Worked out perfectly. The other agent, one product, good price, but. So once again, term insurance. And then came Universal Life. I was in the industry when Universal Life hit. Because what happened basically is you had whole life paying a 3% guaranteed growth, which right now is fantastic. Back then it was dismal because we had annuity rates at 12%. Prime well over 15%. You remember those days? Y'all were not even thought of then, but I was there. I can attest it. So the fact of the matter is, people started moving into Universal Life and building up those cash values, and then there's pitfalls there because once again, they use high interest rates to say, hey, you could have a paid up policy. Nah, when interest rates drop, you got a lot of angry people. So we want to overcome all that in the beginning. I think we are problem preventers, right? So if we know there was a problem in the past, let's not repeat it. And so what I love about our product, it's a level premium, not predicated on interest rates, right, Mike? You get the premium today, it will stay that way till you are 121. Actually, till you're 100. So we'll talk about it in a little more detail. So Universal Life, Variable Life. Now Variable Life, good idea, but what people don't tell you about Variable Life, it's expensive. Because you have mortality costs, you have investment costs. I used to work with a big investment house, Pioneer Investments. Love Pioneer. There's some free publicity for Pioneer Investments. I still have money with them. Great company, great money managers. But every single one of those money managers are doing what? They're trying to beat an index. And less, in fact, I think it's less than 20% beat the index. So that's why a lot of people are saying, let's just own the index. So here we have index UL. So once again, that is a passive investment approach. So every one of these products makes sense for some people. You know, what I loved about Variable Life is that you get equity returns, true equity returns, in a tax-deferred environment. That's pretty sweet. And tax-free loans. But once again, we don't do securities, and so I don't want to talk about it. So once again, that's kind of the outline of our history. And I think it's all been innovated into the latest evolution for life insurance, which is the LGO, Living Guaranteed Option Universal Life. We solve the problems. We give you what term insurance gives you, which is just focusing on the liability, giving you a chance to have it for specific periods, right? Because 20, 25 years, you can pick your death benefit, going to 95, 100, 105, 121 if you want to. So once again, the word I like to use is mass customization. And that's what the agent's going to be able to do, to be able to customize a public policy. One of my favorite guys back in the past, I don't know how many people remember Will Rogers. Remember Will Rogers? Remember the White Horse? Come on. Don't you watch reruns? Come on. But he said something that was profound, and I think it's very appropriate for our discussion. He says, I'm more interested in the return of my money than the return on my money. And that explains our product perfectly. People are saying, okay, you can invest it, it's going to cost me money, get the market going up, I'm happy, it's down, I'm mad, I'm upset, you're losing my money. Or the index is not performing. What? You guys are changing your cap rates, what's participant? What does that mean? No, let's just get rid of all that. Let's get back to the basic. Let's get back to needs-based selling, which is how much insurance do you need? Now, we'll cover you, and now you have a choice. In the 20th year, if you want all your money, here it is. 25th year, here's your money. We stop the coverage. Call it even. But in the meantime, we protected you, we gave you peace of mind, and we gave you living benefits, which I think has revolutionized our industry. This is the greatest time to be in the insurance business. It's the easiest time to be in the insurance industry because there's less agents and there's more people and there's more innovation. Who's with me on that? So we're all going to get our license. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Now, thank goodness I have good eyesight, or at least I memorized what this is supposed to say here. Is there a way we can focus it or enlarge it?
It's
That's
just
okay.
throwing it too far.
Yeah, first of all, American National Texas has a proud history, and we are a subsidiary of American National Life Insurance. That's the main thing. If you know their history, it's A-rated or A-plus for many, many years. They're A-rated by AM Best and Standards & Poor's. It says 23 billion. We're getting close to 24 billion in assets. We have one of the best capital surpluses in the industry, which is over 10%. Which means after we pay all the debt, we pay all the obligation to policy owners, we have 2.3 billion left over. What that tells you is you have a strong company, and you have a company that's going to be here for a long time. What I love about American National, a lot of people are not aware of this, is that right above my office is what? The Moody Foundation. They own right now 23% of the stock of American National. The family owns the rest, bringing it to 51%. We have one of the largest trust departments in Texas, over $26 billion in the trust department. So what that tells you is that this company is not going to be bought or sold by some international company. I'm seeing that happen. My own Pioneer Investments got bought by Unicredit. You know, you got Fidelity Guarantee, you know, I hate to mention names, got bought by a Chinese company out of Hong Kong. I mean, you know, between you and I like Texas, and I like the fact that we're going to be in Texas from now on. And that's what Mr. Moody's vision was. W.L. Moody said this company is going to be in Galveston, and here's how we're going to lock it in. And he was a brilliant man. So let's go back to the direct agents, and I'll go through this quickly. One of the things Moody Group does and American National Life Insurance of Texas does is we take care of our agents. First of all, we support the product. We train them on how to sell the product. Why is that so important? Because we want to make sure we hire ethical people who tell the right story and disclose everything so that when you buy the LGO, you know exactly what it does and what it doesn't do. Okay? This is not going to grow hair. I got to promise you. If you're balding, you're going to continue to go bald whether you have this or not. That's comic relief here. It didn't work. So we got to tell people what it does. Case management, very important. And most companies don't do this. But when we get a case in, we walk it through, don't we, Marvin?
Yes.
I mean, you're the first one. We look at the reports. We look at the underwriting requirements. And we say, hey, we need this from. Hey, you forgot to get this. And we work it out. Now, I believe EAP is obviously making everybody's job easier, but there still needs to be follow-up. And when the agent's calling you and getting on the phone and having to wait and this and get, no, they need to be selling. They need to be doing what they do best, which is communication, marketing, and selling. We need to help them. So that's what Moody Group does. And we also do coaching calls. I'm a big fan of coaching calls. So many times, guys that get in this industry, they work for themselves, it can be the loneliest job in the world. There's nobody really to talk to. You guys probably have your ears bent all the time with agents, right? Just craving attention. Because they need somebody to have empathy for them. We do that at Moody Group. We do that a number of ways. We do coaching calls. I told you about the income engineering, so we give them a financial education package. We do study groups. I'm a huge fan of study groups. We have one called the Income Engineers. We had one before called the Rainmakers, which we're going to install again, which basically gives them ideas on how to get to the next level. And we're starting a new one, how to earn $10,000 in 6 weeks. That will be a separate study group. I did a pilot. We had like 4 agents go through that. 3 of them got it. That's exciting. And Toto was one of them, Karen, by the way, out of Puerto Rico. He was one of our first ones to do 10,000 in 6 weeks.
Great.
Also, we have a strategy whole life, very high comp for final expense. And part of income engineering is about end-of-life planning. And that's where the final expense comes in. Of course, we've got the guru here on final expense. And I love that story we tell. In fact, I have it on one of my slides in another presentation. The guy was diagnosed with cancer years ago. Mike reviewed it. Boom, we got it done like in 11 days. That's amazing. Family was ecstatic. Agent was happy too. And of course, we have the Moody Resource Center, which is fantastic. Paul, why don't you tell us a little bit about that, if you don't mind? I don't want to put you on the spot.
Yeah, no, sure. So recently we just launched our new website, Moody Group Online, and that is, I'll be honest, that's my baby. That's something I've been working on for a while, and what I wanted to accomplish was bring the Netflix model to the insurance business. And what I mean by that is we do these coaching calls and these study groups, but if you've got to pick up your kid at 3 o'clock on Friday, you're not going to make it. So I wanted to make all the information available all the time to you. So when you go to the Moody Resource Center, now let's say an agent calls me and says, Paul, what is this Strategy Whole Life product? I don't know anything about it. Well, I'm busy, I've got a life to do, I'm not going to spend 45 minutes right now when I can just say, go to the Antex page, click on Strategy Whole Life, you've got brochures, training video, a slideshow presentation like this, breaking it down. You can see illustrations, you can see examples, you have all of that, and that's for all of our products available there at the Moody Resource Center. It's always evolving, always changing as well, because I want agents to keep coming back. So each time we do a new presentation on a new product, or a product we've already had, but just a new presentation, I put that on there as well. So that's there for agents, so if you guys are ever talking to them, you can always say, go to the Antex Moody Resource Center, you'll find it there. I update it all the time. It's a wonderful resource, and I hope agents use it more and
Excellent.
more.
Thank you, Paul. That is, in fact, I'd like everyone to check it out when you go back. It's moodygrouponline.com.
Yeah, and tell me if you don't like something, because I can fix it really quickly. If you have a suggestion, I'm open to it. I built it for agents, and if I could have y'all's input it as well, that would be nice.
Excellent. So as we move on, one of the things we're going to be doing also is bonuses. I wasn't going to really disclose it, but we need to honor people who are getting the job done. So over and beyond their contract, we will pay, when they do $50,000, an extra 5%. We call it the doubling impact, because if you double your production, we're going to double your bonus. So we start with $50,000, extra 5%, and then of course $100,000 gets them an extra 10%. So there's, not only do you make $100,000, but you do something that you believe in and you got a great product. And I love to tell agents this, because this is the absolute truth, that our life insurance program doesn't cost you anything. Think about that. You're protecting your family, you're protecting yourself with living benefits, which we'll talk about later, and it doesn't cost you anything, because all you're doing is exchanging dollars today for more dollars tomorrow, either through accelerated death benefits, or simply the return of your own premium. It is a great opportunity, and it should be included in everybody's portfolio. Also, appointment fees. This is something we're going to haggle over with the home office here. Not joking. We're hoping. Okay,
That's kind of true.
Okay, this is going to get
kind of true.
Well, once again, I'm going to turn a negative to a positive, which is right now, American National Life Insurance in Texas, we require agents to pay their appointment fees, and we are working on a program so that if you do a first case, that there is going to be a reimbursement. And I may have to take this out of my own pocket, Paul, but we can edit this out later. If not, we will pay for your appointment fees. But we'll work something out. But the fact is, that is something that that has been a negative, but once again, we can turn into a positive. And so we're going to work on that. There's a number of states that don't require it. I think there was like 9 states that have no appointment fee. Arkansas, just for a few, and I think Hawaii's one of them. Indiana's one of them. But anyway, well, let's go ahead and move on from there. Also, submitting business. This is where I get to bring up Paul Harrington, and I'll work the slideshow. How about that?
All right, just hit the down key.
Yeah.
So I've noticed since I've been doing this for about a year that this is the most obnoxious part of the entire process for agents, because a lot of times they don't think that they have to try when it comes to this part of the process as far as submitting business. So thankfully we've got the e-app coming soon. It's not live just yet, but it will be. I was told that it's in the final stages. So that's coming around. And then we also have just good old school paper applications. You go to the next one. Please change. All right, so paper apps, we do have paper apps. They are fillable online, so that's kind of a compromise between electronic and paper, so you can fill those out I always suggest doing that because I don't know what happened in the education system 30 years ago, but handwriting was not taught because it's miserable, or it's all chicken scratch. So if you could do it on fillable or EF, that's much better. Always send it to MARTA. So we sometimes have agents send it directly to new business, but we like to scrub it first because I can bet you there's going to be a mistake on it, or they missed something, or they forgot a form, or anything like that. So always go to MARTA first. The bigger groups, though, we will have them send to you. So James mentioned earlier these large firms, One Resource Group, those guys, strategically it makes more sense to have them go directly to you because MARTA can't handle 150 apps a day. She wouldn't work for us very long if that was the case. Policy updates and form submissions, go to Antech's team. That's a wonderful way. Always CC MARTA on those as well, so we have a copy of them. That way, when you say, hey, I sent that in, we can say, no, you didn't. We have proof. And paper applications can be found on the wonderful Moody Resource Center that I was talking about earlier. There's simply the section that says Forms and Applications. You click on it, all the states come up, go to your state and download the correct form. Go to the next form. All right, eApps. eApps is where it's at. I really like eApps because they make it impossible to screw up. And what I mean by that is if you put something into the system that is impossible, it will not let you do it. For example, on a paper app, you can go ahead and write a strategy whole life on a 23-year-old. No one's going to stop you because you can write it in. Not the case with the electronic app. You have to be 50 years old. It won't let you put in 23. Same thing goes for LGO. You try and write an 86-year-old, it's going to say, nope, can't do that. All the X's go up. It's impossible. It's smooth. Also, what people run into is, let's say they're going through the application and they say that their client takes blood pressure medication. Okay, well, that requires a blood pressure questionnaire form. 9 times out of 10, they don't know that, and so they submit the app, and then we have to come back, wait for underwriting to say, where's this form? This will automatically generate it. Now, when it gets down to the end, there's 3 signing methods. I prefer rapid sign. Everyone's familiar with rapid sign if you've ever done like an online document. When it's all said and done, you and your client, assuming you're face-to-face, can just click a little yellow box. That's your signature. You can go down, first goes client, followed by agent, and then you're good. Next is script sign. Script sign exists. I speak very honestly. I don't particularly suggest it. It runs into issues a lot, but it exists. It's simply you can draw with your finger and do that, or draw with the mouse and do a signature. So if you're into that kind of thing, that exists. Remote sign is classic email signatures. This can run into issues if you have clients that obviously don't have emails, but what is nice about it is if I'm in Florida, but I am non-resident licensed in Oklahoma, I can do signatures for friends and family that are in different states and clients that are across the country. So this can also be accessed from the Moody Resource Center. See a trend? Everything is from and goes to the Moody Resource Center. So that's submitting business, and yeah, thanks, James.
Okay, thank you. We are winding down. Let's talk about the product specifically, though. And of course, what I'm going to talk about is just color, which is green and white. That's all we see on the board.
What's that, though? Boom.
There it is, perfect. No, the bottom line is that it is a very unique product, and of course we won't spend a lot of time. Guys can get this off the website, but it does issue from 18 to age 80. If you're a smoker, it's 75. But the bottom line is this. It's guaranteed no lapse. You pay the premium, first 10 years, it's going to stay in place as long as you make your premium payment, and you make it on time. Also, guaranteed death benefit to age 121. And as I mentioned before, remember when I mentioned mass customization? There are literally over 14 options that each client will make on this plan. First of which is, how long do you want your death benefit? 95, 100, 105, 121. They can decide that, and it does impact the premium slightly. Also, when do you want your money back? If you want it in 15 years, if you want it in 15 years, we do give a partial refund of that amount. Typically, it's about 45% of the money. If you want to wait till 20, you want to wait till 25. So once again, there's more choices. Now, God forbid, let's go ahead and move it over. God forbid something happens to you where you have terminal illness. We've paid accelerations on that, have we not? I had one guy who had throat cancer, and he accelerated, got a check for over $300,000, took care of his bills, took a trip, and bought his wife a SPIA. Now that's a story of love. She gets a check every month. I just think that's remarkable. And that's what insurance is all about. It's purchased because of love. You love somebody, you care about them, you buy a life insurance to replace you. So you have my love while I'm here. When I'm not here, I'm not looking at you specifically, don't get nervous. I was making eye contact. We're going to edit a little thing there, right? That's it. But if I'm here, I can give a person my love. When I'm not here, the life insurance can provide that. And the life insurance is a reflection of love. It really is. And I know it's kind of philosophical, but it makes sense. We talked about the guarantees also. Guarantee, number one, to refund your money. So no lapse, guaranteed death benefit, and guaranteed return of premium. I think that's powerful. And that's what clients want. They want guarantees, and they want guarantees from a strong company who can back up guarantees. You agree with that? And American National Life Insurance of Texas can do that. There it is, black and white. And of course, it's worth repeating. But guys, I got to tell you, living benefits I think is remarkable. We have changed how people view their coverage, have we not? And not every company has all this. It started with the terminal illness rider. It evolved to chronic, the inability to perform 2 of your 6 ADLs gives you an advancement up to 76%. We also are one of the first companies, American National, to have critical illness. I think that's remarkable because there's a lot of people who aren't going to die, but they're going to lose their revenue. They can't work anymore. They're going to be on that golf course and say, man, I got a little bit of, I kind of feel like that. I'm going to play through it, man. I'm going to play through it, and they have a heart attack. They can't work. So based on the severity of that, they will make an offer to that person. Now, something else American National is doing that very few companies have is a partial acceleration, which means based on your heart attack, we're going to give you 70% of your death benefit. Well, I don't want to lose my coverage for my family. I'll take 20%. It's only 20%. That'll be fine. Take a trip around the world, I'll pay my debts, and then my family still gets a death benefit. I think that's remarkable. Back in the old days, we'd buy 2 of them, so you can accelerate this one and then leave this one to your family. But now with the partial, there's no need to do that. You can take a partial and keep it enforced. So I think it truly is remarkable. That life insurance, and I think tests will show this, right, over time, that retention is better with living benefits. Why in the world, as a young man, would I want to forego $500,000 that follows me wherever I go? If I'm disabled because of some type of accident, I've got money to draw from. How long would it take me to accumulate $500,000 as a 30-year-old, 40-year-old guy? Come on. I want to give these people instant estates. A pool of money that will follow you around and protect you and your family. It's convincing. It's very powerful. As we move on here, let's talk about economics. It's very competitive. You know what's really funny when you talk to clients, here we have a 35-year-old female, $250,000. She's preferred, actually $250,000 and $1. We'll give you preferred rates. But we are not holding things up. We have capacity, do we not? And then with express underwriting, it makes the job so much easier. We run an MIB, prescription drug check, and if the questions are correct, they get their coverage. Streamlined. So $87.92, but it's $87.92 to the client, but in 15 years, that's over $10,000 we're going to provide for that individual. And then $21,101 in 20 years. So once again, we're going to protect you, but you have a choice at that time to say, you know, my family's grown, got a smaller house, we don't really need it. Hey, let's get the money back. We can have some applications for this. I think it'd be a great retirement check. You know, it's not like a bonus check. Hey, you're retiring, here's another check, and you're able to go from there. And of course, 25th year, I believe that's 26. Mm-hmm. So if I do my math, let me see. If you take the premium of 87 and 5 more now, so that's how that works. And then the other thing we talk about, Paul and I put together a great slide, which we don't have on this one. But if you sit down with the client, and like I said, people are price sensitive. They are. We all have budgets. But if we show the term insurance, and yes, we have some of the most competitive rates around. So if you're looking to save money, give us a chance to earn your term insurance business. But if you look at the long view, I pay a small amount of premium, but at the end of the time, I got some choices. If I'm not healthy, I don't get any more coverage. If I do renew, I'm going to pay a lot more money. Do I just bite the bullet, pay a little more now, and get my money back, or have the same premium from now on? I think it all makes sense. Life goes on. Now, you don't need an MBA to do this part of the presentation, but one of the things we do with agents, which I think is very unique, part of the coaching call, is to help them with a marketing plan. Without a marketing plan, you're like a boat on a water with no rudder. I really believe that. When you know where you're going, there's some power to that. There's magnetic opportunities to reach your goals because you know where you're going and you're plotting that out. So that's one of the things we do with our agents, and obviously learning the product. I always say every successful insurance agent has a sales strategy that has three components. First, they've mastered a product. We know this product backwards and forward. We do it in our sleep. And I'm a big fan of scripting. I wrote a book about scripting, which is the magical method of selling. So when you know what you're going to say, you know how to say it, you'll be more persuasive. We're not talking about canned, boring. We're talking about taking words and making them your words. And that's what we help brokers do. But really master the product. The next thing they have to master is the understanding of a market. Where do I want to work? And we help them do that through either associations or helping them tap into their client base. There are so many agents watching this right now that have 300, 400, 500 clients that you could go back to that bought term insurance with you in the past, right, Philip?
Right.
And let's simply convert. And I've talked to Michael here about maybe a conversion strategy. We can do it with our products, but why don't we look at maybe converting other companies? So if they have a term plan and maybe they've had full underwriting, maybe we take a look at that. It could be something in the future. But at the very least, if they have term insurance with us now, let's convert them. Put them into this program, help them get their money back, and also living benefits, which their term insurance may not have. I'm amazed when I price people, because so many people are paying a higher premium and they have no living benefits. Why would you do that? So once again, we're very competitive on price, promotion, and here's what's fun. We have a press release for you, which hopefully is going to be approved through legal. I have to actually sign a form number. I got the email from Lori. But, so I hope that you'll utilize that press release, get it to your paper, put your information in there so people can say, wow, that is innovative. I want to take a look at that. Also, we have ads. We've got e-blasts we can do. We personalize things to you, postcards, flyers. Guys, we got to promote ourselves, and that's what marketing is. Marketing is defined as the creation of interest and awareness of your products and services, and we have to be better at that. I love the initials, which is life goes on, because life does go on, and that's the whole purpose of life insurance. So I want to thank everybody for being here today. I got to close on I've got to have a powerful close here. So I'm thinking in my mind, what would be a powerful close? And I have it. Let me ask you a question. If you had a goose that could lay golden eggs, and you had to make an investment on one or the other, what would you do? Would you invest in the goose or the eggs? How about my camera guy here? What would you do?
The goose.
Why? Why the goose, not the eggs?
Because there's infinite possibilities.
You got it. That's exactly right. It's a brilliant answer. Thank you. We're not asking you to invest in the life insurance product. We're talking about making an investment in yourself. Because when it comes to the things that you want in life, you are indeed the goose that lays the golden eggs. Anything that's going to help you strengthen your position is probably the greatest investment you could ever make. Do you agree with that? So please take a look at the product and be the goose that lays those golden eggs. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.